$59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98.
What's that? Erin's just shaking her head. All right, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night.
You sure about that?
I don't know. My eyes are good, but I don't know. Everything seems a little more blurry these days. Wednesday, of course, my thing is so small.
Sorry to hear that.
On the air.
Oh, that's true.
What an opening.
Real America's Voice, glad you're in. Already off the rails. Welcome in. Lots to do. Slickster's here. He's going to do some sports. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
Ain't nothing but a houndstooth.
You ain't nothing but a houndstooth. Yeah, we're going, Big D. Let's go. Elvis would have been 90 today, the king.
Oh, it's 90.
One of the greatest to do it. Yeah, 90. 9-0.
9-0.
Yeah.
I like the scarf tonight. Slick,
Yeah,
looking
that's
good.
for the king. That's for the king.
You need it in this studio because it's about 40 degrees.
How big would Elvis be today if he was 90 years old?
Oh, man. He'd be like 9 cheeseburgers deep into the...
He'd have a 42 waist.
Yeah.
42.
You're talking about his arms.
Exactly.
The
So,
king.
Delgado, how are you? Yeah. Paul, nice to see you again.
I'm good. Happy to be back. So grateful for the audience's love and kindness. So thanks for being here, having me here. And I love the audience. And thank you so much for everything.
Thank you for that answer, Paul. That was very nice, straightforward, and right to the point.
I'm good.
Delgado, how are you?
I'm good.
All right. Anyways. No, how are you?
Oh,
I'm
God.
fine.
Answer me.
Except for my sciatic. I got a sciatic thing.
Here we go.
My God.
Every day. This should be a new segment. Can we do a segment 3 minutes into the show, 2 minutes into the show? We should create an opening.
What's the ailment?
What can we call it? Yeah, what's the ailment? Yeah.
Well, I don't
what's
have many
the problem?
ailments.
What's the problem? That's what it should be called.
You know what? I don't know what the problem is. I've never had it before like
It's called
this.
old age.
Yeah, and it's kicking my ass, and I hate it. And I get like 10 steps, and all of a sudden I'm limping. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Why don't you go see?
I went to our.
Why don't you go see your source?
I did. I went to go see our source today.
Okay. Yeah, and
He helped me out. So now I can go 12 steps instead of 10.
Yeah, you
Good.
could use a 12-step program.
Yeah, you could definitely.
Along with me.
You can use 12 steps for sure.
But I've never had this before, and it's infuriating because,
Because you
I like
think
to
you're
move.
you're like The Rock or something.
no, I like to move.
Because
I like to do stuff.
The Rock, he's the pebble. I mean, he's jacked, but he's 5'4".
Tiny, yeah.
right.
Sorry.
You're like The Rock. You're like the.
I'm just jealous.
You're like the Joe Pesci Rock.
And I'm still taller than Slick.
And he can still dunk on me.
Not with my heels on.
With Slick Rick's heels on, he can eat off your head, bro.
Yeah.
That's right,
Yeah.
bro.
Like a little table.
Well, yeah, I've never had something like this happen, and it's discouraging.
Well, welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it goes. Things start to hurt.
Yeah. Every once in a while we throw our backs out, right? Me and you.
Oh, there's nothing worse than. I mean, my son just went through it. He's only 17.
What does he have?
Well, you saw him at your source.
Well, no, I know I did, but what is he? Does he have sciatic like I do, or?
Well, he had a slip. He had a disc out
he
of
had a
place.
disc out. Okay.
Yeah. And he's been making fun of dear old dad for years, and then so I wasn't trying to rub it in his face, but I rubbed it in his face and said,
Oh, not
you. Not so funny anymore, huh? Is it there, big boy? Of course not. Not so funny anymore. There's nothing worse than having your back out.
If I could talk to 20-year-old me, it would be yoga. Do yoga. Twice a week, you'll never be injured.
Okay, there you go. Paul Nolan.
Yeah.
Yoga sucks, though.
Well, I mean,
it's so hard. When I
would you say that to your 20-year-old self too?
No.
Okay.
No,
I would.
No, I'd say let's go to happy hour.
After yoga or before?
With whoever you meet in yoga.
Well, that's a good point as well. That's a good point. Aaron, that's not funny. Don't laugh at him. So there's
They
lots
gotta
of
mic her laughing. She's too good.
yeah.
I would say do Pilates.
Well, it's a nervous laugh, Paul, because she knows the odds maker's is coming on Friday, and she knows that Big D's coming with full handicapping. And
Let's slow your roll.
You guys are lucky I retired from the capping business.
And my secret weapon.
Oh, no. We can't have help.
Well, you didn't stipulate any rules that I can't have any help.
Well, we didn't go over them yet. Slick and I did speak last night about
Okay, so you and Slick are
there's a little
conferencing,
collusion.
so me and Paul are going to conference.
All right.
No,
I'll
we're
be
not
in this
conferencing
one.
about our picks. We're conferencing
Paul's out of practice,
about
though. We
your
don't have to worry
rules.
about Paul.
Oh,
He's out of
Slick's
practice.
talking smack. Paul's out of practice.
Well,
You
no,
gonna
I'm
make
stating.
that? Or
I'm
you
not
going to
talking.
help
It's
me
not
now?
stating a fact.
Okay.
Listen,
Boy,
as much as
man,
I love
this
you,
guy-
he can't put a wedge between us, Slick Rick.
This guy
That's
does
right.
more. This guy does more stirring
chance.
than Nesquik.
You've never
You
been in.
gotta kid me, man.
You've never been in my trunk, pal. Remember that. Okay? You've never had that privilege.
Every time you say that, I think of Tarantino in The Gimp. Please stop saying the trunk.
Oh man.
Okay. All right, fine.
I just think of Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Well, where should we start? I mean, what's going on in California? We got to talk about, obviously. The scenes out of there are I mean, it's just it's worse than a movie. What we're seeing, it's just.
Did you guys see the clip of the guy in the and his friend?
Oh, it's one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
It's absolutely. I would love. Does anybody in the audience
I know.
in the chat? Please let us know if you know anything
about that poor guy and this dog. And
Oh no, he made it. He made it out.
Oh, that's
You
great.
know that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
I saw
that's-
that. Actually, Bongino was talking about it earlier today. Said he made it out
thank
alive. They got
you,
an
God. That
update
would-
from that guy.
Man,
And I don't know why he would be there that late and still videotape. Like, look at my house.
Well, I think he might have been sending to friends and help and give me an aerial view which way to go. Nobody's looking for social media attention in that precarious situation,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
You wouldn't
there had
think.
to be some kind of plausible reason why he's like, look at me on TikTok.
Right.
I also
Yeah.
do recipes.
Yeah, I don't think that was exactly.
yeah, souffle.
That was one of the scarier things I've ever seen.
Flambe, souffle.
I mean, it's just
Saute.
and I know people. People are saying, well, you can't be political while it's going on. You can't talk about this. You shouldn't talk about that while it's happening. But I don't know how you avoid it, because a lot of what is going on has something to do with the decisions that have been made.
Oh, God, yeah.
So how can you not talk about it? I mean, I understand. We all
You know what you
look
can't
at those
talk
scenes
about?
and think, my God,
Yeah.
these are our fellow citizens. It's just horrendous.
What you can't talk about during this is your kid's house or your grandkid that just happened. It's not about you, jackhole. You want to talk about politics, you have to. With the diversion of water and the smelt fish and all the stupidity and not pulling away the brush fires. You guys all saw the Rogan clip when he had the expert on.
Yes.
It's outrageous.
It's outrageous,
It's
is right.
absolute treason.
And there's nobody there tonight, I guarantee you, thinking, well, thank God we have that lesbian chief that we hired, and thank God she implemented more DEI, because right now what you have is DIE.
I mean, honey, we moved to a new town. There's it's 50% women in the fire department. Let's go pack it up.
I mean, how do you not talk about it?
We want more boobies. Boobies are awesome. I mean, really, we want masculine and brave on this one.
And you also want smart. You want smart policies, so you don't end up in that situation.
Oh yeah.
You see, you hear about, and I know Trump was talking about it as well, how they divert all this water.
No, that's crazy.
Like it's a huge faucet. They just divert it into the ocean because
smelt fish.
Well, because they gotta protect the 3-inch fish
Yeah.
that nobody ever sees
Or eats.
or cares about. But you can wipe out people's entire lives. Some of them, actual lives being lost because of stupidity, just political stupidity.
It's it really is the endless ESG, DEI, the woke mob, the cultural Marxist. It's all of their policy. And you saw the California crazy lady drunk on stage. We'll show that clip later. It's just an endless circus of madmen driving one of the most resource-filled parts of our country. I mean, we're trying to get Greenland, which is covered in ice, and we're trying to get Mexico, it's covered in sand. Let's get California back. Let's start there.
Yeah, a good idea.
I mean, it's insane. That's one of the most resource-rich states. It's got everything you could possibly want, and they've destroyed it.
Yeah. And they've done it on purpose.
It's systematic and by design.
Mike Cernovich was on with, I believe, Ben and the crew this morning, and I don't know if he's in California, but he's certainly he actually might be in California. But here is his clip from on with War Room today.
This is a traumatic thing, right? And then people say, don't politicize it. And I say, I understand that. Those people who love America, I love them, and I truly feel for them, okay? The writers and the Hollywood people who live in the Palisades and have profited off of the corruption in California, it's 70-30 Democrat. So they didn't want to recall Newsom. They voted for Kamala Harris. My God, imagine if they had gotten their way. They supported Karen Bass, the Kennedy family, city council members in Santa Monica. They did this, and we're just supposed to pretend like they didn't, and we're just supposed to say, I don't want to bring up the fact that this is a Democrat supermajority. Let's just kumbaya and pretend like they didn't do it, didn't vote for it. They did. So I don't want to see people like Marie Shriver showing her face, saying anything. I want to see people saying, what are you talking about? You voted for that. And they go, well, we didn't vote for fires. Oh, but you voted for Karen Bass instead of Caruso. You voted for people who can't keep water in fire hydrants. I know you come to California. We had record floods. The water just poured right into the ocean. No way to capture it. If they were going to build all this Green New Deal stuff, they didn't do that. They couldn't build basins. So this is what Democrat supermajority gets us. So that's the case that I'm making for federal takeover of California. I know that Trump is being a little cheeky when he talks about Canada being a 51st state, and I think the reaction that Pierre, the Apple leader, and others have is amusing, but California is a state. Under the Constitution, there's a case to be made that the federal government needs to come in to enforce the civil rights of the people, to act in a Reconstruction kind of manner. So I want the Trump administration, and I'm a citizen and resident of California, I want the Trump administration to exercise its constitutional power to come in and fix all the election fraud. They have this authority. Under the 14th Amendment, Section 5. They have the authority to enforce the rights, the civil rights of me, the citizen, which is being deprived by the state government of California, where people can't trust the elections, where somehow these Orange County Republican areas all went Democrat, even though everywhere else was trending for Trump, but somehow Michelle Steele lost her election, even though she didn't run a good race, and I said that to their faces, and they wouldn't listen to me, so I don't know what to tell. Scott Baugh lost his. I don't know. So I am, unironically, this isn't me being cheeky when I'm talking about Canada being a state. I'm goofing off because I know it annoys the Canadians. I'm not joking. I want the federal government under Trump to come in and clean this state up, and they have the constitutional authority to do so. This is traumatic.
That's Cernovich today.
Well, I was making a joke before, but boy, he made sense of it.
Yeah, he did. And again, getting back to the politics of it, you can't get away from the politics because it was Gavin Newsom back in 2021. This is cut number 1, where he explains that wildfire preparedness is going to be so much better now that Trump is out of office and now that they have Biden. And if you want to see it real quick, here it is, cut number 1. Here he is with a little help.
That's what's different now is we are committed as a team, as a partnership with the legislature and other state agencies, including now the federal government, no longer a sparring partner, but a working partner. Federal government, where we're not addressing headwinds, but tailwinds in terms of the support, a memorandum of understanding, doubling our respective commitments to vegetation management and forest management and prescribed burns, to support the Biden administration with resources, not just rhetoric, to help this collective cause. It's a different paradigm. It's a different framework.
Yeah, there you have it from the great Mays.
All right, just getting started. On a busy Wednesday night, President Trump was on Capitol Hill. He did a quick press conference when he was done with the senators. We'll play you that when we get back. 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B.
Probably on ESPN.
I wanted to bring up the insurance thing too. Insurance companies.
Oh, the insurance companies? Yeah.
Even the auto insurance like 4 years ago.
Yeah. They regulate it so much that they can't do business.
You believe it? Isn't that crazy what these people get away with?
It is crazy.
You asked last night about. You legitimately asked last night, is there a limit on offensive stupidity with Disney?
Yeah.
I mean, she just keeps stumbling.
There's no line. Exactly.
It never stops.
That's my point.
I mean, that should be the crazy town from this point forward.
There's literally no line.
Or disgusting town.
And there's no line for Comcast either. Obviously, it's Joy Reid still has a show.
This tennis ball head herself, she's a joke. It's a joke.
Live in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, chat. Why, how are you?
Oh, I tried to say hello, Patriots. I spelled hello, Atriots. I'll be working on my penmanship.
Why can't I see the chat here? What's going on?
All right, here we go. Rumble chat. Already almost 1,000 people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good. Hit my stomach.
What's up, Dave? 3504.
Hit my stomach.
Great googly moogly. It's Gigi
I might
Georgie.
move the mic to it next time it does this.
Frederick Leathers is in there. Brownie Bow.
Moon Pie's awesome. Hoping
Never
your back
Slept
gets better.
27.
Yeah.
Truth to be.
Yep. That was nice. Moon pie is good.
Hello, Woodrow. Thank you for saying hello.
Hello. Yeah, do you?
Moon Pie, we're doing well. How are you? So happy to see you in the chat.
Yeah. Can you punch it in a little bit so we lose this down here?
Yeah, Moon Pie's a regular. She's like a staple in the chat every night.
How do you know the gender? You saw her XY? XX?
I don't.
Look at that.
I probably
You learn
by the
something every day.
engagement that I've had with her. That's what I'm thinking. You
learn something every
right, Moon
day.
Pie? You're a girl. You
Susie,
could be a guy. It's okay too.
Susie 321 is in there.
I don't care who
Easy
likes
cat.
me is
Sue
as long as I get attention.
Saddleboro. We got a lot of good folks
Hassan
in the chat.
Pfeffer.
Drag Blacker is in the chat. He's always funny.
Hassan Pfeffer.
Got a
Broke
lot of
spoke
folks.
around. Nice.
All right, live from Studio 6B, 17 past the hour on a Wednesday night. Glad you're in. Slick Rick's going to do some sports. Delgado's got some news. Paul Nolan's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Before we move on from the fires, let's just play one more clip because the elected mayor of LA, of course, hasn't even been around since the fires started, and I guess word either didn't get to her too quickly that what was going on because she decided not to return until I think today, and that would be one Karen Bass disaster.
Oh,
And here she is arriving, I guess, back at the airport, and the press was waiting for her. And I don't know if she thought maybe they weren't going to be waiting for her. But I think what you're going to see here is Mayor Bass giving the most competent answers that she had the ability to give at this time.
Can't
and
wait.
here's what that sounded like.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
Yes,
I love it.
Utterly.
Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
That is awesome.
That is-
What
No
a piece
apology
of
for them?
garbage.
What an arrogant thing.
Do you think you should have been
What a
visiting
statesman.
Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
It's like the mayor of Chicago, another one. Just the same type of could care less.
What a piece of garbage. Human trash.
Another DEI hire.
Yep. Probably didn't even win the election.
Wow.
How much money did you get from Soros? Can someone in the chat scoop that one up?
Especially in count over there.
Madam Mayor, let me ask you just again, have you anything to say to the citizens today as you return?
No. They're gonna come.
Ma'am, hold on 1 second.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Can you take this down?
What's the old expression? Better be silent and be presumed a fool.
David,
than speak
as you
and
say,
remove all doubt.
she wasn't very keen to
didn't work
answer
here.
any of your questions there. And fire chiefs are also admitting that they just don't have enough personnel to take out the fires.
Oh, that's Sky.
Yeah, they're fighting all sorts of challenges. They're talking about a water shortage. There are reports of fire hydrant failures. They've been unable to use firefighting aircraft for much of the day due to the smoke that is billowing ominously from the hills where the wildfires are raging. And I suppose despite that political storm, this is, of course, at its heart, a human story, because we've now 80,000 people evacuated. Tens of thousands of others are on standby to be evacuated. 2 lives have been lost in the Eaton fire, which is what's causing the consequence behind us. The city's iconic landscape almost shrouded completely by the smoke, and they're really just taking it one step at a time, hoping at some stage the wind's going to change direction or to die down, and that they're going to be able to get this fire under control.
Yeah, I think I saw reported at one point they said 0% is under control.
0% containment they have right now. 0%. And they've, I believe, issued an evacuation order for Santa Monica, 300,000.
Wow.
I believe that happened tonight. And that's the mayor of L.A., Karen Bass, right there.
Wow.
With no words. By the way, I don't know that gentleman.
Bravo.
Yeah, bravo.
Oh,
Bravo to
Sky
him.
News? Yeah, he's good.
Bravo to him. But again, you get the government that you vote for. You get the leadership that you vote for. This is the leadership. And as I said, she gave probably there the most competent answers that she could have given. Because if she had opened her mouth, what could she say? She going to go back on the history of what she's done there?
She should have
cutting the budget.
Racist.
Too many white firefighters. We need to change that.
Yep.
Hiring of the lesbian fire chief. That was real important. There's a picture floating around of the top 3 people in the fire department, I guess, in that city, in Palisades, or whatever it is. Actually, I have it on our Twitter. It doesn't instill a lot of confidence to anybody. I would think that's this is the fire chief, the assistant chief, and the training commander in the Los Angeles Fire Department.
You sure that's not the remake to the Ghostbusters with all the lesbian bros?
No, it's not.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
And I'm sure people there tonight are really really thinking about all of these important things.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I mean, you know how the toughest dudes you know are New York City firemen. You run into a burning building, and if you don't have your guys back with you, you're done. I just can't believe what I'm watching here. It's unbelievable.
Aaron, one more. December 6, 2021. 113 LA Fire Department firefighters removed from duty without pay for failing to meet the city's vaccination mandate. So that was high on the list as well. So between the DEI, the vaccine mandates, making sure we check all the boxes with we need to have this person in, we need to have one of these, one of those, this person has to be the chief, this person has to be that, we need to have less white men, we need to have more diversity, we can't divert water because we got to save the planet. And here we are tonight.
It's crazy.
Add it all up and it equals tonight.
Yeah. Diversity will get you killed.
Throw some bad luck in there. And as Joe Rogan said, what was that, 6 months ago? A year ago? Whatever that was, that show? That guy said on that show, one of these days, you're going to get bad luck mixed in with all of this mismanagement, and the wind's going to hit the wrong way.
Let's talk
and
about
this thing's going to burn right through every town.
Yeah.
How about the insurance companies? It was about 4 years ago, the auto insurance agencies were just leaving. They wouldn't insure you. because of all the looting, all the damage, the cost of operation. It was, and now it's the homes.
Yeah, the homeowners insurance.
The homeowners insurance got so crazy, canceled people left and right.
Crazy.
You wonder if this is one of those land grab harp deals. I'm just
because of all the regulation.
What happened in Maui?
The regulation that California goes through and makes these people. It makes it so they can't make money. So it's like, well, if you're going to do all that, believe it or not, it's the most populated state, and the insurance companies who only want to make money are saying, "Yeah, sorry, no."
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That has to tell you something when some of the greediest corporations in the world are going, "Yeah, no, I think I'm going to pass."
Yeah, I'm going to move to El Salvador. I want to move our business there.
Right. It's crazy. It's insanity.
James Woods, the actor, has been out there putting some videos out. He was with Laura Ingraham tonight, and he said, quote, "Laura, with all due respect, if it is true that things were handled this way, if it is true that Gavin Newsom is the absolute blithering idiot that I believe he is in the way, this isn't a wake-up call. This is the kind of thing they have tribunals for. Well, they try people and say, you had an oath of office to perform certain duties. When you're the fire chief, this isn't a social justice exercise that you're in charge of. This is you getting water to areas that need water because there are fires and 100-mile-an-hour winds burning houses to the ground." He says, well, I loved our little house, but it means nothing compared to the 5 people who lost their lives. James Woods tonight.
Yeah, I saw his house was pretty much
gone.
Gone, yeah, consumed. There was some video of it just before he lost it.
Yeah, BlackRock will buy every house in the area.
He also said our new fire chief, she put in her bio on the department website that her highest priority is inclusion, diversity, and equity. And somebody forgot to fill all the reservoirs, he said.
Yeah, and fight fires.
Wow.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We'll do some other stuff. Sports news all coming up.
My son out here.
They almost lost their house. It might be okay.
House is gone. I think it's gone. We're not sure.
Yeah,
so it could be some good news.
I mentioned that in the opening segment a little bit, just because I was so. When you talk about shouldn't be part of politics,
this guy is just—he's
so tone deaf.
Read the room, Jack. Man, golly.
Democrats.
It's always about
child of the king strikes again.
It's always about
always helping out.
Yeah.
God bless you, child of the king.
Child of the king, $20 super chat. Remember, it was 4+ weeks ago. It was 4+ weeks after the election.
Thank you.
Giving California enough time to sign all the fake ballots they needed to take over Cali. They are disgusting. The people must take back California now. Well, I think that was Mike Cernovich's point.
Right
to
on,
some
kid.
degree.
She is a cheerful giver, as we call her at the church.
Damon, tell Paul, yes, Bass is Soros back, 2,800 in the 20 cycle per opensecrets.org.
Thank you. Once again,
good call,
internet sleuths.
Good call.
I guarantee she got more under the table.
Oh, yeah, the dark side. Dark. I'm sure it was funneled in.
Child of the King. I just love that name.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Child of the King. I just finished 3 days fast. I'm going to make it through till tomorrow. Getting through it with prayers and faith. So I figured if the big guy can do 40 days, I could do 4.
Rick, if the sciatica pain is on the right leg, you must work on the left side. It's opposite. Are you aware of that?
I am now.
I'm sure your source is aware of that.
He was working on my right side.
I'll tell you, what he did with my son is a miracle.
Oh, yeah?
He is truly the best in the business, by the way.
Where do you go to? Sciatica Sal?
I think that's his name, yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Paul, did you ever find a
Did you go to
house?
school
I
with
am
him?
Hallie, by the way.
Of course.
Hallie, are you referring to the house flipping business? And are you a Long Islander? This chat is great.
Patrick Morrissey, I saw that. Adam Carolla said he applied to be a firefighter,
Oh,
and he
that
had
was
to wait
brilliant.
7 years because he was a white guy and he wasn't.
See the lady behind him? When did you apply? Wednesday? How's
Oh,
my
wow.
white privilege, he said. Every time I hear white privilege, I think of Bill Burr talking about, what do you mean white privilege? What am I, having lunch with the Kennedys at Cape Cod every weekend?
All right, live from Studio 6B, 30 minutes past the hour on a busy Wednesday night. We'll get to sports and news here in a second with Slick and Delgado, but President Trump was on Capitol Hill, and he was there with the First Lady, and they met with the senators, and I'm sure he did some other things while he was there. And when he came out of that meeting, the press and the microphones were waiting for him, and here's a little bit. Well, here is that presser that the president did when he was done. Hello. Did I cue it up to the wrong place? What's going on?
This is some fantastic B-roll, Damon.
Yes,
Good
thank you.
stuff.
Yes.
Listen, they got all the corners covered here.
All right, here we go.
There he is.
Sorry about that.
So thank you very much. We had a great meeting. There's great unity. Whether it's one bill or two bill, it's going to get done one way or the other. I think there's a lot of talk about two, and there's a lot of talk about one, but it doesn't matter. The end result is the same. We're going to get something done that's going to be reducing taxes and creating a lot of jobs and all of the other things that you know about. But this was a really unified meeting, and I want to thank John and everybody for. It was a great turnout. You know, this was came here for the funeral tomorrow. We went over to Blair House. I went over with First Lady. Met the Carter family. They were lovely. They were really very sad, but also they were celebrating because he was a very fine man. I knew him a little bit, but I knew him only as a fine man. Then we came here, we had a meeting, but it was a really good meeting, very strong, and we'll get something done. One bill, two bills, doesn't matter to me. They're going to work that out, but the end result is going to be the same. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you. Have a big couple of days coming up, and then in a week and a half we have, I think, some really tremendous things happening. We have some really, I think it's going to set this country apart from all others. We do some great work. Any quick questions?
You think?
Significant pushback from people, Greenland and Panama, comments. Would you consider sending U.S. troops in order to violate? Yeah, I don't think we had pushback. Greenland is, if you look at the people there, we got tremendous. We got applause as we landed yesterday. I had my representatives, my son Don, and representatives go there, and it was like a love fest. You know that. The Panama Canal, they're taking advantage of us. They charge more for our ships than to do any other ships. They charge more for our Navy to go through. We built it. We gave it to them for $1. In other words, we gave it to them for nothing. The most expensive structure ever built in the history of our country, relatively speaking. The most expensive, by far. We lost 38,000 people. They gave it to them for $1. And then they charge more for our ships. It's not going to happen. And China's running the Panama Canal. That's not going to happen either.
Mr. President, on California, Mr. President, during the pandemic, you often said that you didn't believe that you should bail out blue states that you believe were being mismanaged. Given your criticism of Governor Gavin Newsom, are you willing to work with him, and do you believe that federal aid should be provided to California for as long as it takes?
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. and we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy. I know those areas very well. I have many friends living in those houses. That is a true tragedy. Nobody ever thought. I mean, virtually Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know. You know, you talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have, the water comes from, you know where? Up north. And it comes down at levels, they give millions and millions of barrels of gallons of water that they have, and they send it out into the Pacific. For the Pacific, it's like a drop, it's nothing. But for California, it would take care of the whole state. So what's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job. With that being said, I got along well with him when he was governor. We worked together very well, and we would work together. I guess it looks like we're going to be the one having to rebuild it. But what happened there, I don't think there's anything that I've ever seen quite like it. And the insurance companies are going to have a big problem, because you're talking about big, big dollars.
What's your message for President Biden? He said he
I have no, I thought it was ridiculous that he did that, but we have more important things to talk about. Liz Cheney was, she lost in the Republican Party, as you know, in her state, by the biggest margin in the history of a politician running for Congress. She lost by like 42 points. Nobody's ever lost like that. So I don't care about Liz Cheney. I care about these people.
What does day one going to look like for the Trump administration?
Number one, we're closing the border. It's going to be closed very strongly, and it's going to be closed. And we're going to have to take people out that are criminals. We have people from jails from all over the world and from mental institutions. And as you know, they're going to have to be removed. And it's one of the reasons I won the election in a landslide. The people of this country don't want murderers walking down their farms or their streets or their cities. As you know, we had thousands of people that murdered other people that were in jail that were released into our country. Many of those people murdered more than one person, many of them, about 42% supposedly. We want them out of our country, and we're going to get a country back again, and we're going to be really governed by common sense. These are the principles of common sense. We're not going to be governed by stupid people. We're going to common sense. We're going to be respected all over the world again very soon.
All right, there you go. There was the president in a quick 3 or 4 question press conference, but you get more out of 3 or 4 questions from him than you got out of Biden for 4 years.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, he compared to what he did tonight and what he did yesterday down at Mar-a-Lago, which was just simply brilliant. The whole thing. What you got out of him, you get more out of him in these two. Literally, these 2 press conferences, this short one and yesterday's. You got more out of him than you got out of this current administration in 4 years, and it's not even close.
He's not even in office yet. It's amazing.
Not even close.
No.
So, all right, 37 past the hour. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6P is the code to use if you shop at MyPillow. Use promo code LFS6P at checkout. First of all, it'll give you great savings off all the great stuff from Lindell. And he has great stuff, whatever you're looking for. So use promo code LFS6P at checkout. Slick, what's going on?
All right, Big D, NCAA men's basketball. Could we have another upset tonight? We'll see. Number 9, UConn right now trailing Villanova 67-66 with 1 second to go in the second half, Big D. So they're right down to the end there. We'll see what happens over on FS1 there. Alabama, number 5, up 65-50 over South Carolina. 7 to go there in the second half. Ole Miss right now 56-49 49 over Arkansas. 9 to go there in the second. Texas A&M and Oklahoma coming up at 9 p.m. And number 11, Kansas takes on Arizona State in Kansas at 9 p.m. as well. Over to the ice, NHL. Capitals blanking the Canucks right now, 1-0 in the just heading into the second period. Avalanche and Blackhawks tied at 1 out in Chicago, 17 to go there in the second. And then the Panthers taking on the Utah Hockey Club, 10 p.m. tonight. I know the LA Kings game tonight was indeed postponed due to obviously what's going on with the fires there in the LA area. We got the NBA action. Cavaliers 82-79 over the Thunder, 6 to go there in the third. We got the Pacers 98-65 over the Bulls, 2 to go there in the third as well. Sixers up 71-60 over the Wizards down in Philly, 6 to go there in the third. And with 32 seconds to go in the first half, Knicks up by 5 over the Raptors, 53-48. And well, some really good news in the sports world today. We heard that legendary announcer Dick Vitale said he is cancer-free, ready to call games for ESPN.
Nice. Oh, wow, great.
Isn't that great news?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Actually, Rick tipped me off right before the show. It broke not too long ago. The Hall of Famer said Wednesday that his vocal cords are now cancer-free. Ryan Young of Yahoo Sports is where I picked it up. After numerous cancer battles, legendary ESPN announcer Dick Vitale is nearly ready to return to the network and call a college basketball game once again, and boy, has he been missed. Vitale announced on social media on Wednesday that his vocal cords are cancer-free. He said his doctor now feels he can return to my love of being at courtside for ESPN. Just had a scope of my vocal cords, and I was very emotional with the great report by Dr. Zeitels. He said the vocal cords are cancer-free, and he feels I can return to my love of being at courtside. The cancer battle is just the latest that Vitale has gone through in recent years. He was first diagnosed with melanoma back in 2021, and then with lymphoma a few months later. He then announced in July of 2023 that he had been diagnosed with vocal cord cancer, which he overcame a few months later. But then last summer, Vitale announced that he had been diagnosed with cancer a fourth time in his lymph nodes. He's been recovering from that ever since, and he underwent surgery to remove cancerous lymph nodes back in July. Vitale has largely been away from ESPN amid his fights with cancer, but he returned briefly in 2021. But he sounds like he's going to be back, Big D. Maybe he'll be back in time for the whole March Madness run. I know CBS covers that, but I'm sure he'll have his say. Yeah. So good news. That's a wrap in sports there.
Yeah, until Amazon picks it up at $9.95 a game.
I'll get that next.
Possible.
I'm so sick of that.
Yeah.
All right, Slick.
The streaming services.
All right, very good, Slick. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the code to use. Let's do some news, and we'll do a lot when we get back. And here with that's Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, I don't know if you remember this guy, disgraced former congressman from New York, George Santos.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I don't remember him.
Yeah. Turns out he's making the news once again. He asked a judge just the other day to delay his sentencing in his federal fraud trial. One reason why is because he wants to do more podcasts to earn more money before he goes to jail. Santos is scheduled to be sentenced on February 7th in New York after pleading guilty to federal fraud, campaign finance, and embezzlement charges. His attorneys asked the judge to postpone the sentencing by 6 months until August to give Santos more time to make money so he can meet the nearly $600,000 he owes in restitution and forfeiture, according to a new court filing. Mr. Santos, it says...
he says, so much going on.
Yeah, so much going on for Mr. Santos. He has a viable path to making meaningful progress on satisfying his obligations, his lawyers stated.
OnlyFans?
In a motion filed Friday, citing the launch of his new podcast called Pants on Fire with George Santos.
Are you kidding me?
I'll say it again.
Pants on Fire.
Pants on Fire with George Santos.
Man,
you have it.
He needs to zip it. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll get sponsors. But we'll see. Pants on Fire.
Wow.
With George Santos coming soon.
Yeah.
So much going on.
I'm guessing 11 views a night,
if that.
So there you have it.
All right, we'll do some more news with Delgado when we get back. 43 past the hour. Hour 1, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
I think his pants in prison. down in Philly, right? Wow. Still a big upset for number 9, the Huskies.
See, so maybe play those clips of the Canadian broad. Are you allowed to say broad? Is that new? Is that proper nomenclature now?
Well, it's a very broad topic, but you could say.
Well, Elizabeth May, that's the one who was saying she was messing with Trump, and then 2 days later she's drunk on stage making a buffoon of herself.
Oh gosh,
that's a charming clip.
I can't believe Santos is out there again.
Pants on fire.
Pants on fire
with George Santos.
Santos gets pantsed.
He's gonna get pants. The president, right? Jeez. Yeesh.
Ooh.
Yee.
Who's the sponsor? No. I thought it was Old Spice soap on a rope.
Yeesh.
All right. So Zeno.
What are we watching?
Watching the chat.
Is this the Cox?
Chat.
They're playing Alabama? They're losing.
Yeah, I would imagine watching yeah.
What's going on? Let me go to the YouTube chat, see what's going on with my friends there.
The YouTubes.
Well, you already covered it, so no sense now. Unless you want to listen to her. She's so stupid, too.
Like and share the show. Pants on fire. Fire ants with George's pants, according to Brokes Broke.
Go to Florida.
You got another Child of the King, I believe. I believe this is new. Damon.
Passing this along. Whereas I just lost it. That's it. It's gone.
Jesus Perez. Damon sitting here at Baptist Hospital.
Jesus Perez.
By the way, David Lucero, I've read your text.
Listen to your chat.
And
I
you're
had a
dead right, brother.
removed from my arm. I feel great.
Pretty foolish.
Yep.
I think that was just once. I think it's the way it
looks like another one, though.
No, it looks like another one. Looks like it just came in.
Wow. Unbelievable. Very nice.
Rock Lake Ranch is in the YouTube chat. Yeah, I did. Yep.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Glad you're in. Make sure you visit us over at livefromstudio6b.com. Make sure you sign up to become a member. It's absolutely free. If you have a Facebook or Google account, it takes about 10 seconds. Head over there, livefromstudio6b.com. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. Paul Nolan's got some news coming up as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition, also available at livefromstudio6b.com. Delgado, what's going on?
Well, I guess still the big story, and I'll get to some of the details on it from John Solomon's Just the News. Death toll from Los Angeles fire is rising. Last count is up to 5 as flames continue to rage. Let's go with cut number 2. It's got some B-roll from some of this California fire that's going on. L.A. County Sheriff Robert Luna on Wednesday afternoon reported the death toll from the major fires in his district has risen to 5. More than 1,000 buildings so far have been burned. The deaths all stem from the Eaton Fire, which is the second largest blaze in the county. The Palisades Fire is the largest and has burned through more than 15,000 acres, according to CNN. President Joe Biden ordered the Pentagon to deploy 10 naval helicopters to help fight the 4 fires currently blazing in Southern California. And Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh said the Navy helicopters will come on top of the 4 modular air fighting system units that have been prepared by the California National Guard and Nevada National Guard, according to Fox News. Right now, California Fire has some of the best capabilities and equipments to fight these fires in California, according to Singh. We can search their assets, and the president has directed his department, this department, to bolster whatever California needs, but we have to work with California. And right now, we can't even get our assets in the air because the fires are so bad and because the winds are so bad. I don't know if you've heard, but the winds have up to almost 100 miles an hour in some places. So it's nearly impossible to fight a fire.
Sure.
That's what I said last night. They said they were moving 3 football fields every minute.
Yeah. It's insane.
Right, the speed. Yes, you did say that.
Think how crazy that is.
It's incredible. Oh, my God.
Because the wind coming off the water and then it picks up speed as it goes through the valleys. It's insane. The announcement comes as the president visited the Golden State, where he briefed the large fires currently raging in California. Of course, he took his time to take no questions and celebrate his great-granddaughter, he said, was born. You can't make it up as he goes off topic, as he usually does, to talk about himself. As the wildfires rage and people are basically being chased from their homes throughout the state of California. So there you have it. The high winds from the Pacific Palisades fires continue to rage and just make things impossible for them to fight this fire.
He stopped the thing to tell everybody he was a great-grandfather.
Yeah.
Not the time for that. Not the time for that.
Right, Bill, about him.
Tell us about your stock portfolio, too, while you're at it.
Yeah. Bill Essayli, I think it's how it's pronounced, Essayli, Essayli. He represents California's 63rd Assembly District, former local and federal prosecutor fighting to restore common sense in the Sacramento area, so that's where he's based. He put out a thing today. He says, for everyone saying this is not the time for blame, this is exactly the moment that the people who have been responsible for the mismanagement of California's fire policies should be held accountable. Our governor has been obsessed with holding a special session to Trump-proof California, as he calls it, when he should be focused on fireproofing California and our communities. Look at the facts about the Democrat-run state's failures to address fire prevention. And he goes through multiple things that it's worth to read. I'm not going to take you through all of them because we're doing the news, but it's on our Twitter. I've pinned it at the top. And it's probably worth looking at. So, all right, what else, Delgado?
All right, and I don't know if you saw this. Now, this was odd. I came across this on X having to do with the fires in L.A. This is cut number 3. Take a look at... And again, take a look at this. This is a little odd. I'm not saying I know what this is, but it goes zipping across the sky. Take a look at it yourself and have a look at this. This is, again, captured on live TV. Check it out. Cut number 3. Damon, lift your head. You can't see it. Watch. Watch the thing shoot across the sky. Like, what is that? Watch it again, just above the buildings.
That's fast moving.
Right?
Is it a bird?
It's a plane.
Go full screen, just so Damon can see it, because I know he wears glasses.
Wow, look at that.
Like, what the heck is that? It's got a lot of people asking questions, like, what's going on? Like, what was that? It zipped across the sky through the smoke.
Was that through the sky?
Looked like a meteorite.
Wow, that was trippy.
Trippy, right? It kind of reminds me of this, and what's odd about that... And about this date, January 8th of last year, I sent this video in, cut number 4.
Oh.
You might remember this. You can go full screen with this. Look what this looks like.
Is that that's your Frisbee. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Slick was on this one.
Doesn't that look exactly like what we just saw fly through the...
That's your Frisbee when on fire.
Fly through the California fires?
Yeah, exactly, actually.
Look at
exactly.
Look at cut number 5.
It's a bottle rocket.
Cut number 5, different shot, same thing.
Wow.
The same way.
Whew, I'm blown away.
Now, was this morning on your way to work?
No, this was last year on this date.
Oh, on this date?
On this date, which is
that's
insane.
Ironic.
That is very ironic.
On the day,
exactly on the day.
Oh, wow, that's cataclysmic.
I pulled it from the email that said January 8th, and I looked at it. I'm like, whoa, hey, what's today's date?
What did you say, Slick? That was what?
Cataclysmic.
And now go back to cut number 3 real quick and go full screen so you can see it.
Yeah, let's get the side-by-side going.
Yeah, that's...
Just above the buildings. Here it comes. Boom.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, a little quicker. Weird? I think a little quicker this year.
A little odd.
Next year, it's going to go just... You won't even be able to...
A little odd. I just want to point that out.
They're increasing the technology.
Yes, speed is ramping up.
I just thought it was interesting, considering the date. And,
right on.
you know, I just thought it was something we should take a look at real quick.
So maybe it was it looked like it launched out of something. It looked like it launched.
Right?
People in the chat keep asking, why can't you use salt water? Go to scoop up salt water and dump it. But I think the reason they do it is because it creates so much corrosion and such a mess on whatever's left over. I don't think it's that effective, supposedly. I can't.
Yeah, on a burnt-out building.
Yeah, like why does that matter?
Yeah, I mean, what are they using when they put out like boat fires? What kind of those boats?
Chris on YouTube thinks it was Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's
Do you
funny.
subscribe to possibly that?
No, I don't.
It could be.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog was heading over to get a burger and fries at Sonic, probably.
Don't say burger and fries, please. I gotta be honest with you. Like, why would these people be worried about dumping salt water at this point? Just at least create a perimeter somehow.
Right. Well, it kind of reminds you of what they didn't do in Hawaii. It's like you've got an ocean of water right there.
They're worried about the corrosion of the salt water. That's what the expert official said. Okay. You say so. You're the expert.
Yeah.
Just like the mayor.
So no hedgehog. You're not down with Sonic the Hedgehog?
I just wanted to bring that out, and when I saw the date, when I pulled the email that had this footage on it, and I looked at the date, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's the same date. Kind of ironic, kind of weird. Just thought I'd point it out. I'm not trying to say anything.
No,
I just want to put it out there for you to have a look at.
Of course not.
Because it makes sense to have a look at. Mike Johnson, House Speaker Mike Johnson, blasted 159 Democrats who voted against the Laken-Riley Act, which passed in the GOP-led House with 264 votes in favor of earlier today. There were 48 Democrats who joined Republicans to pass the measure, but the majority of Democrats voted against the measure. They prefer illegal immigrants murdering our young girls than they do young girls staying alive. Laken-Riley, of course, you remember, was brutally murdered by an illegal immigrant that President Biden and the Democrats led into this country with their open border policy. It's hard to believe that after countless horrific stories like Laken's, any House Democrat would vote against deporting illegal aliens who commit violent crimes against American citizens. Johnson said in a statement after the vote. And again, the story coming from John Solomon's Just the News.
All right. That's a wrap on a quick hour one. Do you think it was Elvis Presley?
Saying. I don't know what it was.
We're going to sing all of hour two, so stay tuned.
Hour two coming up.
Watch the video.
We're looking to fly through the sky.
It's a hunka bird in love.
We're going to do the whole segment at show
tunes. A hunka bird in love.
Burning across the sky.
Lord of mine. After watching butcher eyes. That is a true Elvis song, too.
It just cracks me up the people in the chat that get so mad.
Why?
They make fun
of us. Yeah, of us having funny.
They're on board with you, Rick.
Well, of course.
Oh my God!
What is that?
Wait, who got
they're on board. They're walking the plank.
I just can't believe it.
Talk to me about what was so normal about that thing you saw shoot across the skyline. You can't. You can't. That's why you mock. You mock because you don't understand.
Ah, he's fearful.
This is a hunka
are you saying Big D fears the unknown?
He fears the unknown. The truth is out there, Damon.
At 7:59 every night.
He's feared he missed an Elvis sighting.
Every night.
Nah, he only fears carnies.
I have the same fear. 7:59 and 59 seconds. What's going to happen
thank
in
you,
the next
Ron
2
Klein.
hours?
Ron Klein.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
$1.99.
I think it's
nice.
their hand. Little sausage fingers.
Ron Klein, super chat.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you very much.
Becky nailed it. Becky nailed it. It actually will destroy a lot of the fire department's equipment. So when they start moving, that's right. There was a decent reason. Okay, good. Well done, Beck.
They can use salt water in the planes that pick it up and dump it, but they can't use it on the in the pumper trucks.
Child of the King, $20 super chat. Delgado, he has aliens on the brain, so he will understand this theory.
Okay.
That is the catapult on the Mexico side, just sending us newcomers.
That could be. Getting fired up.
I like that theory the best.
That's funny. I think she's correct.
Could be.
They just keep launching them over the border. Well, they stopped walking, right? They started flying them in. There you go. By catapult.
Rock Slick Ranch says, Damon and Slick, just kill me. Boom, boom, boom.
Frederick Leathers. Damon is LFS6B's Dana Scully.
Who's that?
Oh, my goodness. You don't even get a TV reference?
I don't know what that is either.
You were alive.
Who's Dana Scully?
X-Files.
Vince Scully? He called all the...
X-Files, you doofus.
Oh, Vince Scully.
I never watched
the old
one-
Dodgers announcer.
I've
That's
never
what Scully
watched
I knew.
one episode of the X-Files ever.
No, me neither.
You're missing it.
Yeah. X did not mark the spot for us. We didn't watch it.
Yeah, X didn't mark the spot for me. I never watched it.
I know. You're too
A
busy
natural
with
gas
your
line
other
in homes
shows.
exploding and sending
What was on the same time as X-Files were on? Wasn't
Probably
it like
for you, Saved by the Bell.
24. All right, hour 2, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Wednesday night. Glad you're in. If you're in the chat, follow us on social media at LFS6B, pretty much everywhere. Make sure you follow Real America's Voice at Real AM Voice. Rumble, YouTube, X, Facebook, Getter, wherever you are. We appreciate the follow. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing the news. Paul Nolan has some things he wants to cover. We'll do some news with him as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Lots of other stuff going on in the news. Talking a lot about, obviously, what's the tragedy as President Trump. I love the way he put it, even in that short press conference, because it is an absolute tragedy what is going on out there. It's heartbreaking to watch.
It's terrible.
0% containment last time I checked.
And it could have been prevented.
And now you've got evacuation notices for Santa Monica. And who knows what's going to happen with L.A. if the winds don't die down and this thing keeps in this direction.
Just think about trying to pack up. You got 2 hours, 3 hours, and you're doing everything you can to save some valuables, some memories. And then it's gone. Everything's gone.
Sometimes you don't even have that much time.
No, I know.
All of a sudden, it's like on you and you didn't realize.
Well, Santa Monica, though, I mean...
It's a beautiful place, too.
We got to find... a friend of mine posted something on Facebook
I used to live out
regarding what to take. Like, he broke it down. He posted, he gave him a 15-minute warning, a 30-minute warning, an hour warning, and a 2-hour warning. It kind of gives you the top 10 things you should be grabbing if you have that much time. 15-minute warning, wallet, purse, keys, glasses, cell phone charger, emergency cash, credit cards, pets, carriers, leashes, meds, clothes, shoes, hats for the season, hearing aids, medications, flashlights, extra batteries, safety deposit box keys, checkbooks, and any bills you have to pay. You got 15 minutes to evacuate. Which, again, stuff that you can grab quick and you can carry and run.
Monica Showalter in the American Thinker today says that the people of California are not fooled by Gavin Newsom's too little, too late camera posturing that he's been doing today and yesterday, and his tweeting. If you look at the way people have responded, of course, they've pointed out the litany of his many incompetent decisions, such as his failure to build the water reservoirs for firefighting that the voters actually voted for, his failure to educate the public about fire safety, his dam removal to satisfy all of his special interest in California, which removed the water from availability to fight fires, and his failure to allow insurance companies to operate without losses, forcing them to pull out and leave residents with no means of insuring their homes. Why wasn't there any water? Palisades is totally gone. Libraries, schools, grocery stores, everything is destroyed. Firefighters had to look in people's pools to try to find water to use. Here's why there wasn't any water. In 2014, voters handed California $2.7 billion under Prop 1 to secure the state's water future with new storage projects. 10 years later, Not a single reservoir is complete. The centerpiece, Sites Reservoir, promised to add 1.5 million acre-feet of storage. But thanks to Gavin Newsom, zero. And it just goes on and on over all of the man-made decisions in California that has led to this point. Policy decisions, all of them squarely on the shoulders of the governor and Karen Bass, who's the mayor, who was every bit as pathetic as we just saw in that clip.
Yeah.
And I pay 14.4% state income tax, 10.5% sales tax, tens of thousands of years in property tax, heavy utility tax, thousands in permit fees for minor changes to my house if I want to make them, and we don't have enough water and fire personnel?
Insane.
Meanwhile, we have an army of DEI staff making $200K plus. Where's the water, Karen?
He's too busy retaining it.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say, if you have a 1 hour warning, because we do, you know what, we kind of forget, we do have a lot of viewers in California.
No, yeah.
Right? You talk about that all the time.
I've always said this about this show, and it always, back in the early days, before this version of the show kicked off in 21, whatever it was, when we were heavy on all socials before Real America's Voice, California was the #1 viewing area of this show on a nightly basis.
Oh, you mean before Zuckerberg shut us down? You remember what we got right leading up to the
we used to have 100,000. We used to have 100,000 people a night on Facebook watching us.
Remember the one big night we had? It was over 300,000, and then boom, it was they shut the valve.
Shut us right down.
30,000.
I remember that
on Facebook alone. That was crazy.
I couldn't believe that.
Crazy. If you've got a 1 hour warning and you're in California or any place, take and safeguard your guns, your ammo, grab an ice cooler, put some food and some drinks in it, grab any important files that you need, have at least 3 days of food, gloves, dust mask if there's going to be smoke, paper plates and utensils and stuff like that you might need, licenses, things, your identification, insurance, financial stuff, wills, power of attorney, your private property and your personal property list, photos and appraisals.
Anything else?
Other documentation, yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it. It could happen anywhere. It doesn't have to be in California. I mean, I saw a fire just over here the other day, yesterday, overnight. And it made me remember that when we knew a hurricane was coming a couple of years ago, I'm like, you know what? Let me walk around the house and videotape everything. Because if for some reason you lose everything, and these people are losing everything, you're not going to be able to remember what you lost. You can say, oh yeah, I had this in this room and I had the couch over here, but there are so many other things that you collect and you have in your life over the course of time. That if you don't recall it, the insurance company will not pay you for it unless you have proof. And if you can go through, and it takes a few minutes. I remember doing it, and I've done it also. If we ever go on vacation, I'll document everything in the house just in case something happens when we're away. Just so you have that video evidence of like, here's what we had. Here was the bedroom. Yeah. Here's all the walls. Here's what was everywhere. And you kind of go through, and it just helps document everything.
Smart.
And the idea is hopefully you'll never need to use it.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to have a record.
Better be safe than sorry.
Of everything you have, because it's impossible to remember it all.
I've got all my sensitive documents in a fireproof go bag, just in case.
There you go.
Smart.
I definitely feel unprepared.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I used to work with them.
I am too. I've never even thought about the stuff that both you and Fran just said.
That's very good.
Insurance guy I know, he suggested it, and it was something that I helped some people with, where you're trying to document every part of your 10 years old. But it should be covered if you've got the proper insurance, and the insurance company will pay you for it. You just have to have documented evidence of it.
Just amazing the incompetence in California.
Well, that's the point of Monica Showalter today in the American Thinker. She says that this is their disaster.
Big Mo Pat
Newsom?
in the chat said that DEI hire woman makes $400K a year. Is that remotely possible?
My goodness.
It's definitely possible.
Good Lord.
I don't know that it's true, but it's definitely possible. Could be 300, 400, somewhere in that neighborhood. But she says it's their disaster. Newsom, Bass, they own it. One bad decision after another has now cost Southern California dearly.
Bernie Sanders in a tweet was blaming Trump for it.
Of course he was.
That was charming.
What else could they do? You spend billions on high-speed rails, free health care for illegal aliens, but you can't be bothered to hire firefighters and have enough water in the places where you need it? And you think about what the president said. Again, he's always right on the money. How many people are going to leave California after this? Can you even rebuild some of these places after this? Does the tax base completely finally say, as Ben Shapiro did, Elon Musk did, Dave Rubin did, you can go through the companies that did, all of them, and said, enough with this place?
Meanwhile, they got $2.7 million for the blue-haired pottery, class, but there's no money for this. It's just unbelievable what we're watching here.
What else has been on your mind, Paul Nolan?
Well, I was even thinking about like this Canada thing and Trump. Obviously the Gulf of America was adorable. The Greenland thing with this, endless resources and what a great position to put a big giant nuclear site on. But
who's this lunatic up there that you pointed out to me that's trying to do what is she trying to do, the reverse thing now? Is she like trying to come back at Trump and watch what we could do? Is that what this deal is?
Exactly. This is Doris.
Who is this?
May. I forgot her name. Something May. She's a nobody and her career ends in no time. Watch.
Have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Yeah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province. How about it? California, Oregon, Washington, you've got geography in common with us. And not only that, we've already got a carbon trading system between California and Quebec. We've got some strong alliances on our west coast from British Columbia.
Like the ultimate Karen.
A lot of academic papers on the idea of Cascadia. So California, Governor Newsom, and Washington State, Jay Inslee, and newly elected Governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek.
Blow her up. Watch her swan song.
This is what you deal. Have we got a deal for you? This is what you get.
She's just foul. Watch this.
That's bad.
Why do they always look the part? I guess that's my question.
You mean the part of the woman who's like got 13 cats on her at home and she's tasting the cat. She's tasting the cat food, see why the cat doesn't like it.
Yeah, exactly. Now what's this video? This is her again,
This
Paul?
is her again. This is her really letting loose.
Hey, you know what? Do you guys remember the theme song? Welcome back. Who knew Cotter was spelled K-H-A-D-R? Welcome
She's wrecked.
back.
They're trying to pull her
Omer
off.
Cotter. It matters to say it. Welcome back, Omer Cotter. You're
welcome back, cocktails. That's what that is.
I think she says the S-H-I-T word.
Okay, well, we're not going to play that, but so she seems like a checkup from the neck up might be,
She's
appropriate.
She's a good time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's this last clip? This is the
she was a goer in her day.
This is the first woman to lead the LA Fire Department. This is the DEI lesbian hire that I'm sure everybody there is really thinking about that tonight.
Yeah.
Here she is.
I'm super inspired.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future.
Sure.
One that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I say, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. She's already looking at ways to change that. She's quick to point out that doing so has a greater purpose, attracting the best and brightest for the job.
They feel included, they feel valued, and they feel part of a cohesive team.
The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and diversity at this department. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ community.
That just kind of opens the door of people that thought, I didn't even know that was an opportunity for me.
Oh wow! Yes.
I mean, this is what
checking those boxes.
This is what you do. They found her in like the fishing aisle at Bass Pro Shop.
My goodness!
With her work boots and baseball cap.
But she checks the box.
She's a box checker.
Does.
She's a box checker, and that's what we're interested in.
Is that what they call
I feel
it?
safer already.
That was a perk for the job. did not just say that.
That's when she knew for sure.
That is some Freudian slip right there, boy.
That is one of the best ever.
That is
priceless.
She checks another box. Oh, boy.
I thought this was about fighting fires.
Yeah, it's about fighting fires. Oh, man.
Check your text, Paul.
It's it.
Am I fired?
Well, pantyhose. Yeah, unbelievable.
Oh, boy. Roger. Child of the King is unbelievable here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, another one? I missed it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. 2025 Child of the King Super Chat. If you want a job and want to get rich where you don't ever have to be right, forget being a weatherman. Get into politics in a Democrat state.
That's the truth.
Pocket all grants equals all set. Hashtag follow the money.
No truer words ever said, that's for sure.
Follow the money. Follow the money. Wasn't that a movie?
Yeah, it was. Shut up.
I was on the set of that movie.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Sarcastic
Shot
prodigy
in the city that day.
In the YouTube chat, Big D, she says, "Come on, Damon, you think she's hot?" So sarcastic prodigy.
Did I give it away? It was my.
Well, you
could tell right through the TV that you're right.
Well, you know, she is on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
The relentless stupidity.
She checks another box.
Hey, Slick Rick, I got a bird joke.
Oh, gosh.
I can say it in the chat. Guy walks into the pet shop. He's a lone, single guy, right?
What happened to this show?
It's the chat. I can't.
Come on, before we run out of time.
Walks into the pet shop and he says to the guy, "I need a pet." And he sees this beautiful parrot. He goes, "I got to have that parrot." And the guy who owns the shop says, No. That thing's got a foul mouth. The guy goes, "I live alone. I don't care." He goes, "No, it's got a nasty mouth. You don't want this bird." He goes, "I want the bird." So he gets the bird, gets the cage and the dresser. First morning, he's making his coffee, lifts the bird's thing up, and the bird goes, "Hey, mister." And the guy goes, "What?" He goes, "F you." He's like, "Bird, you can't talk to me like that." I'll tell you the rest after the break. So you missed it.
I sound like the blues on a Wednesday night. We talked to you about our friends at Birch Gold. Increased tariffs on our trade partners, tax cuts, and regulation changes. Learn why gold is a viable diversification tactic now more than ever. Birch Gold, the only gold company you need to trust, is releasing their ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword that's written by Donald Trump Jr. To get your free copy, along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold, text the word America to the number 989898. Here are the facts. The national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase. Gold is still your hedge against a weakened dollar. Birch Gold is still the company you can trust to help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Text America to 989898 for your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. There's no obligation, only information. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, thousands of satisfied customers. You too can trust Birch Gold. Text America to the number 989898 and do it today. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Glad you're in. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use at MyPillow. Slickster's got it. Love that purple scarf. Slick, what's going on?
It's for the king. Yes, so Crypto.com, they were supposed to have a game tonight, the NHL. Guess who the LA Kings were supposed to play against? You can't make this up. Game was postponed.
I know.
The Calgary Flames. That's ironic. The game was postponed till the weekend. Just a very, very
What do
crazy.
you think, Delgado? Conspiracy theory? Coincidence?
Maybe.
Don't fan his flames. Okay, and also, same line here.
Maybe that was the team plane that Delgado showed us before coming in. They were late.
Could have been.
Coming in hot?
I'm going with Charles the King. I'm going with Catapult.
Well, NFL is monitoring LA wildfires ahead of Vikings-Rams playoff game as well, because don't forget there's a playoff game at Sci-Fi this weekend. Warner Todd Houston at Breitbart. The National Football League says it is monitoring the wildfires in Los Angeles ahead of Monday's wild card playoff game between the Vikings and Rams, which is scheduled to be played at SoFi Stadium. The NFL continues to closely monitor developments in the area and will remain in contact with both clubs and the NFLPA, the league said in a statement according to ESPN. The Rams, who are scheduled to return to the practice field on Thursday, said they are also monitoring the growing crisis. The team's headquarters is in Woodland Hills, more than a dozen miles north of the Palisades wildfires. So far, officials say the fires have not affected the team. Obviously, they said their thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected by the fires, but we will also monitor that too. Rumor has it that they're going to move the game to Arizona potentially in the event that they cannot play at SoFi, which is right in Inglewood, California, which I don't know exactly what the proximity to LA is, but relatively close, right? Mm-hmm. Inglewood, California. I know you're familiar with that area, Rick. So very interesting to see what transpires with that.
Well, yeah, Inglewood was the original where the forum was, right?
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah. Yep, the old LA Forum. And here's a report. Tom Brady and multiple other teams trying to lure Bill Belichick away from UNC. Dylan Gwynn and Breitbart.
Good luck with that. Didn't he already sign a deal?
He did, but there's only a $10 million buyout. That is literally chump change for a billionaire owner to lay out. But Bill Belichick says he has no plans to leave his new job as the head coach at North Carolina, but his star QB from his old job in New England is reportedly trying to change his mind. Don't forget, Brady is a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart is reporting the Las Vegas Raiders fired their head coach Antonio Pierce on Monday after only 1 year in the job. Tom Brady is a minority owner of the Las Vegas franchise, and a member of the selection committee tasked with finding the Silver and Black's next head coach. According to NFL media Tom Pelissero, Brady is among many others seeking his old head coach to become the Raiders' new frontman. So it goes on to detail, but they said there is a $10 million buyout in Belichick's contract if he does not show up to coach UNC. And I tell you, a lot of teams would be willing to put that money on the table. So we'll see what happens, Big D. But very interesting development.
Well, it's chump change for an NFL team to get their coach. But I actually think, to be serious about that, I don't think that would look good for Belichick for him to do that. I think that would be a stain on his legacy that he would not want, right, Paul?
Oh, without a doubt. You can't do that. You
can't commit to RNC, talking to recruits, having kids are making the decisions on their lives, and then you bail out to go be with Tom Brady in L.A. to coach
what's
in the
NFL
NFL again?
Yeah, and what's the reason? Just all the co-eds? We know Coach Belichick's taste for women, 22 years old, which is insane.
I guess he feels he wants to teach the game and more. He feels with the younger players he could teach more. But I
don't think that's the case these days.
But I say money talks, Belichick walks.
You do?
Yep.
All right, I like it. You heard it here.
Yep. That's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
All right, we'll see if you're right, Slick. I'd be shocked if he did.
Yeah, speaking of sports, did you hear what Skip, what's his name, Stephen A. said about Skip Useless?
Yeah, we reported on it last night.
You played it last night?
Yeah, he said he's the cheapest
guy in the world.
Yeah, he say he's the cheapest guy in the world. Yeah, right. He's like a bagged lunch. And
he said that you can't get that guy to give $15, $1.5 million.
Yeah, right.
It's funny. Gotta admit, that's funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
All right, 22 past the hour. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Let's do some more news. And here with that, brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition. Great supplements, vitamins for men and women, available live from studio6b.com. 15% off right there on the homepage. Rick Delgado's got the news. What's going on, Delgado?
All right, well, let's go across the pond, shall we, to jolly old England there, Damon. As the governing left-wing Labour Party has blocked a vote that would establish a public inquiry into the abuses committed by mostly Muslim Pakistani men against white British girls and politically correct failures of authorities to protect those young girls. You want to see how they voted? Of course you do. Here's cut number 6, the far left, voting down protections for girls. But, let's do some more Muslim rape. Cut 6.
The ayes to the right were 111, the noes to the left 364. So the noes have it, the noes have it. Unlock.
unfortunately and disgusting show by the Labour Party as they blocked the Tories' amendment to the Children's Wellbeing in Schools bill to establish a national public inquiry after Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer reportedly whipped his MPs into voting against the measure. 350 Labour MPs voted against the amendment, while the Conservatives, 101 of them, and all 5 Reform MPs voted for the amendment. This coming on the heels of, and I don't know if you've seen it on X, and Elon Musk has been bringing a lot of attention to this, about this guy, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, how he basically, for decades, let this kind of activity fester and grow throughout the communities up there in the UK. And even, Jordan Peterson had this to say about this. I don't know if you saw him talk about the UK and what it's meant and how this has been allowed to happen. Here's cut number 7. Check this out.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys in the UK understand how sad it is for us in Canada and in the United States to watch what you're doing to yourself. I mean, the UK is a great country. When I go there, I go to Oxford, I go to Cambridge, to these remarkable places in London, see your unbelievable deep history, understand how much the world owes the UK in terms of, say, the establishment of common law and decent government everywhere, including places like India. We owe the UK such an immense debt. And to watch you guys like spiral yourselves into the ground for this idiot, weak political correctness that's gone so far that you can allow your working class women to be raped en masse sadistically and say nothing about it and gaslight people who are telling the truth. It's so sickening. It's so demoralizing. It's almost unspeakable. We all pray, hope and pray here in Canada and the US that you get your act together and grow some spine again and put your damn country back together and stand up to these bloody psychopathic bullies and the woke green mob, because it would be a dreadful shame to lose you.
Yeah.
That's right on. Once again, Jordan Peterson nails it.
But again, this story is just insane when you...
Well, this Keir Starmer goes way back. There's a lot of evidence about him protecting Jimmy Savile. And let's be honest, England has been the child pornography rape capital of the planet.
Yeah, it's insane.
From Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, Robert.
I mean, what's the difference in that vote than the Democrats yesterday voting against the Lake and Riley bill?
Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing. It's all about protecting the immigrants and letting them do what they want.
All right, live from Studio 6B. More to do. We're back right after this.
Who picked out all the stock music? It's really quite terrific.
Thank you.
I mean, every single tune is different and good. You pay for that? What does that cost?
Did we pay for it?
You pay for it once, or you got to pay for it every time you run it? Oh. Good choices.
Excellent.
I got to check that other thing, by the way, for the opening. I don't know what the deal is. I thought we had that.
We did, but I don't know why they're rejecting the license that you had unless it's no longer valid.
Check it right now.
Oh, so the guy goes into the pet shop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wants a pet. Sees this beautiful bird, gets the bird, says, I have to have it. The guy says, you don't want that bird. It's foul mouth. We've been through this. He goes, I'm going to see. The guy goes, no, it's a horrible bird. You don't want this bird. He gets the bird, brings it home.
This is a joke.
Makes his coffee in the morning. First day with the bird sunshine, and he opens the curtain on the bird's cage and walks over, sips his coffee. He goes, hey, here's a bird. Hey, mister. He goes, what, bird? He goes, bird goes, F you. Bird. That's how we start our relationship. Next morning, same thing. Makes his coffee, sipping it, and he hears, hey, mister. What? F you. Hey, bird, you talk to me like that again, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to snap your little head. I'm going to flush you down the toilet. You're dead. I ain't playing with you. Sure enough, the next morning, he wakes up, sips his coffee. He looks at the bird. Bird looks at him. He looks back at the bird. Guy sips his coffee and says, Bird, what? Got something to say? What? He goes, you know what? Yes.
I like it. I love it.
So what did he say?
Well, he's going to say F you again, but he didn't want to get his head. Oh, right, you know.
I did.
See, the bird was smart enough to not say F you
smart.
again.
Right.
I think I heard Johnny Carson tell that joke a long time ago.
Oh, did he use this voice?
Yeah. It was so cold today in my bathroom. The tidy bowl man was figure skating.
I thought you were going to say Delgado walked in with a hand blower.
Yeah, I was blowing my socks in the bathroom. My hands are freaking freezing in here. Oh my God, I got to sit on my hands.
Terrible. I mean, this is no way to live here.
Actually, it might have been Joan Rivers who said it.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. We'll do a little more before we wrap up the show. Paul Nolan's here. Aaron and Friend holding it down. Delgado's doing news. We'll do some more right now. What's going on, Rick?
All right. Well, we were talking about it yesterday. We talked about it a little bit today as well. President Trump doing these press conferences. A couple of takeaways from yesterday, which I meant to get to. I didn't get a chance to. One of the more important ones was about the hostages and the situation over in the Middle East with Hamas, with his new Middle East advisor, Steve Witkoff, who he was standing there with, taking questions from the press with less than 2 weeks taking office. Of course, he was covering a wide range of subjects. This is the one that really got a lot of people's attention. I know you mentioned it, Damon, as well. Here's cut number 8 with Trump talking about the hostage situation and Hamas and about what he expects to happen. Cut 8.
Do you think they're waiting for President Trump to take office?
No, I think they heard him loud and clear. Better get done by the inaugural.
But when you say all hell will be paid, all hell must be paid if they don't release the hostages.
You know what that means, don't you? Well, do I have to define it for you? Look, all hell will break out. If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East.
That's it.
And it will not be good for Hamas. And it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. They should have never been the attack of October 7th. People forget that.
Yeah. So there was, again, reiterating his tough stance on what he thinks should be happening with Hamas, with things going on in Gaza. He wants the hostages back. He wants everybody returned. And or else, basically, is what he's saying. I don't know if you caught this other piece. What were you going to say?
No,
Paul?
I was just going to ask, how much do you believe this is just saber rattling? Just send it over the top, let everyone think he's so unpredictable and crazy, and they get him to the negotiating table with their tail between their legs.
Well, they did see what he did with ISIS. When he took off the reins of the military and said, go take care of ISIS, they were done in, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
When they said it couldn't be done?
Yeah.
So there's that, which is a definite reference point for them if they want to as they say, F around and find out.
That's exactly how I think you're right on the money with that. Okay. I'm with you.
Now, here's another part of that press conference, and it got very little attention at first, but I know it's definitely sparked a lot of attention afterwards. And we're talking about January 6th because, of course, the press conference happened the day after the certification. Monday was January 6th. But the January 6th pipe bomber, which has been a story that has been lost in the media. Very few people have really picked up the ball and run with it. One of them has been Dan Bongino, has been all over this, along with a few others, just covering it extensively and making sure it doesn't leave the echo chamber so people keep remembering that this story is out there. About Kamala Harris not being at the Capitol, where she should have been, for certification for a day that should have been very important to her, because it was the first female vice president ever. And she was about to be certified, yet she's nowhere near the Capitol for that, kind of historic moment. Instead, she's at the DNC, where supposedly there was a bomb placed. Now, they have video, and I think you may have seen it if you followed this story, a video of this person who, quote-unquote, placed a bomb. They actually tracked this person for quite a while using other cameras, and then all of a sudden the investigation dies. Nobody wants to talk about it. The January 6th committee does not want to talk about it. Benny Thompson does not want to answer any questions about it. It's barely referenced in their January 6th final report. Basically, nobody wants to talk about the January 6th bomber, unless, of course, you listen to Dan Bongino and others who will not let the story go. And Trump actually picked up the ball on this yesterday and made mention of it. Here's cut number 9. Here he is talking about what we've been just saying, the January 6th bomber and the FBI. Cut number 9. Check this out.
And why didn't they find the bomber, the pipe bomber? You know, they know who the pipe bomber is. The FBI knows who it is. The status of the FBI has gone down so far, and the status of the DOJ, or as I call it, the Department of Justice, it's the Department of Injustice, being laughed at all over the world. And hopefully with Pam Bondi and with Kash Patel and with other people that we're putting in, that will all come back.
Yeah. So he makes mention of it there, saying that the FBI knows who this person is. And I don't know if you caught this the other day as well, Paul or Damon or even Slick, that the FBI did release brand new video of the January 6th pipe bomber that just came out. And Mike Benz, another guy who has been all over this story. If you want to see part of this video, here's Dan Bongino talking about the new video and how the FBI actually manipulated it, so they can't use AI to identify.
Where they froze it down to the lowest frame rate that ever could possibly had.
Yeah.
The worst, weakest, 2006 built middle of America gas station has a higher frame rate than what they're showing here. The government frame rates are absolutely wrong. This has been messed with. And when you're done with this clip, I want to maybe touch on this.
Yeah, here's cut 12. Here's Dan Bongino talking about it from his podcast. Cut 12.
So the FBI released new video. Must have taken them a while to doctor this. And the frame rate seems manipulated. Now, I don't want to get overly technical. We're going to play this video. This is from the great Mike Benz. He's at Mike Benz Cyber, and you need to follow this thing. You'll notice that the glasses the guy had on, that it appears, if you look at this thing through various lenses, the video, and if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, please watch this on Rumble. It appears that they manipulated the eyes with a horizontal blur bar so that biometrics and AI type features would not be able to identify this guy. You notice you can't see the eyes or the glasses?
Yeah. So again, that's pointed out, and he makes mention of Mike Benz, who, again, has been on this story since, I believe, it basically happened back in 2021. And here he is talking about it from this past July because, again, they're not letting this story go. And as we get closer and closer to hopefully a Kash Patel certification to become the new head of the FBI, hopefully we'll get some answers as to who the hell this person is. Here's Mike Benz talking about it.
How many days do you give him to get answers? When would you like to see the answers?
Within the first week. Because I think they know most of everything already. Now they just need the exact information that's being hid.
So you're being. If it went 30 days and we didn't know any more, would you be disappointed?
I would be disappointed. Yes.
Okay.
30 days is about my limit.
Cut number 11.
Tucker Carlson had the guy, I think his name was Darren Beatty.
Yes, Darren Beatty's also done a lot of work on this.
Yeah,
Yep.
He's done a phenomenal report on this, and that's a must-watch hour and a half with Tucker Carlson. And you know what I'll do? I'll start posting some of this on my X feed right now, because there's some terrific stuff that everyone needs to share with their brain-dead friends.
And again, Kamala Harris was in the building where this quote-unquote bomb was. Basically, she was about to become the second most powerful person in the world, yet she never wants to talk about it.
No.
Didn't use it in the campaign. Oh, my goodness. They tried to kill me already.
Yeah.
She could have had an assassination attempt on her resume. She doesn't want to talk about it. Why is that? Here's Mike Benz talking about it. Cut number 11 from this past July.
Then you have the strange situation with the Secret Service. The fact is the Secret Service was, frankly, responsible for the January 6th pipe bomb at the DNC. They were supposed to be guarding Kamala Harris, the VIP, who we only learned a year after January 6th was actually at the DNC building under Secret Service protection, when the bomb was discovered. And the bomb was on the front leg of the park bench at the entrance to the building. How can you miss that? And, which begs, and while the Secret Service was covering that up, because the Secret Service ended up purging all of their cell phone data and text messages, so that once all this came out, no one could find out what the Secret Service was actually saying to each other on the events of January 6th, because they purged all the evidence. And while the Secret Service was purging the evidence of the January 6th pipe bomb situation, and again involving Kamala Harris, the FBI was covering up all the videotapes while they were offering a reward, $50,000, $100,000 to catch the January 6th pipe bomber. They ended up cutting off the tape of the disclosed planting, who were told the pipe bomber who planted the bomb at the DNC building. They cut the stationary camera right before the person reaches into the bag to take the bomb out. They are asking us to identify the suspect, and then they cut off the tape right before the commission of the crime.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's
so infuriating.
It's amazing some of the stuff that, again, and the mainstream media will not talk about this story. January 6th committee did not address this at all. It was a huge thing. There was also a pipe bomb at the RNC that they never want to talk about.
Bongino said today, when we find out who this is, he said it's the biggest scandal in American history.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. I believe it.
As a matter of fact, Elon Musk had answered a question about this a couple months ago as well.
There are a lot of scandals.
And again, I think Elon Musk, he might be of the same mind as Bongino and just about all of us. Here he is, cut number 10. Listen to this.
Why haven't they announced who the pipe bomber is?
Well, maybe he is a federal employee. Maybe.
Could be. Maybe that's why they don't want to talk about it.
I mean, there's almost, I would say at this point, there's almost, what's the percentage that's not a federal employee? Like almost, 0.001?
Yeah.
Or what do they call those assets? They're not really federal employees, but they've been...
Right, we got to parse the language, right?
Asked politely to play patsy.
Yeah. So again, a story to definitely pay attention to, and especially in the next couple of weeks, because Damon, like you said, I heard him say it as well. This is probably the biggest scandal, could be the biggest scandal in American history. So how does Kash Patel handle something like this? Just come out and say, I'm in a press conference, and by the way, here's who it is. Like, what do you do? I would think you make an arrest. You want to handle it? Okay, we arrested the pipe bomber. Finally, this is who the person is.
Yeah, waterboard him. We'll get the truth.
And then all of a sudden, and you'll, I don't know. What happens from there? The ripple effect? I don't know.
Do you guys think this is the biggest scandal? I don't. I mean, it's big.
I think
enormous.
It's huge. I think
there's so many of them, though.
The stolen 2020 election, I think, is bigger.
I mean, we can go back in history as the Gulf of Tonkin if we really want to get into scandals in American history. But I'd like to ask the chat what they think the biggest scandal is. I would love to know the chat. Give us your top three. I'm very curious what our audience thinks, because I know I think this is huge, but there's been so many.
Yeah.
Is there anything, Paul, that would make this the biggest scandal in history if we found out it was?
If it was under direct orders, of the Biden administration, or we find out who's really behind it, like deep state banking mercenaries. Who knows? I mean, there's a I think everyone agrees there's a shadow government that runs the government. Can we all agree on that these days, or is that still conspiracy theory?
Well, remember, Barack Obama was running his own shadow presidency during Trump's first term. Could it be it was him who ordered
Biden's first term? I'm sorry.
Could it be that it was him that ordered it? Oh, I'm just asking questions.
Well, all I know is this: is a lot of people have a lot of money and a lot of dirty secrets, and they'll do everything in their power to not get caught. No matter what it costs, how many lives it costs, how many people it hurts, they don't care.
All right, we'll wrap it up for a Wednesday when we're back right after this.
there's so many things. It's just so many things that just keep coming up in the chat. MLK and Kennedy, the Kennedys, I should say.
Yeah, both of them.
It's not. It's not. I mean, you look how we got into it's proven now. We got into the Vietnam War with the false flag event on the Gulf of Tonkin, in the Gulf of Tonkin. I mean, this is incredible what the war machine gets away with.
I know.
I mean, this is not conspiracy theory anymore. It's an endless. It's just an endless assault on the American people's, tax dollar.
But you wonder if once they get in, they can actually see the files. You really wonder how much of it was fudged, and you wonder how much they're going to be able to really uncover. Be very curious to see.
Yeah, I mean, they destroyed how much evidence?
Curious. I know.
They bleach bit the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, that was too old. Got water spilled on it. Yeah. That's what they told me when I got here.
And if the audience is nice, I'll show you my high heel shoes when this show's done.
Oh, yeah? You got a nice pair of Elvis shoes on tonight?
It's not the only guy wearing high heels.
Damon, I don't think they'll ever... where did it go?
Oh, yeah, they go fast. You lose them.
Yeah, it went so fast. Damon, I don't think they will ever find the bomber. They'll get rid of him before cash makes it in.
Well, hopefully, even if that happens, they will release the name.
I'm with you, ticked off Patriot, and I love your name, by the way.
Yeah. Who's got the paper shredding concession down in that area, huh? Ooh, they must be getting fired up.
Invest in that stock, Pelosi.
You dread, we shred.
I love it.
There's a marketing logo for you right there.
I tell you, I missed you the most off this show, dude.
Me too. I missed you. It was never the same.
They weren't expecting riot.
Where's Paul Nolan? There'd be a random Where's Paul Nolan like 3 years later.
The idea that Bongino
we had Jim Damon's
bombs, because then that triggers, once they're evacuated, I guess, hence as the authority over certification, whoever that control of the certification, make sure nothing can be questioned.
How you doing, Ruby?
Afraid that
Ruby.
And a representative would sign and bring that up, and all of a sudden have to send
Those
security blanket to make sure
that Biden got through.
Again is according to Bongino.
Do we cover the preemptive pardons that are coming for Fauci and Liz Cheney last night?
I covered it like 2 months ago. $13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. We'll wrap it up here. Been a quick show. And Paul just said to me in the break, do we maybe we talk about preemptive pardons? And I think I brought this up the day after he pardoned his son, which I think was December 5th. I think that night on the show, I said, well, we're just getting warmed up, and the big ones are going to be... And the old good doctor was one of the ones I put on there. And I think at the time, people were like, I don't know. I'm not really sure I see that one. Daily Caller today, Biden confirms he is considering preemptively pardoning Dr. Anthony Fauci.
And Liz Cheney, I believe, pops up in another article on Breitbart.
President Joe Biden confirmed in an interview with USA Today that he is considering preemptive pardons for Dr. Anthony Fauci and former Republican Representative Liz Cheney.
Bingo.
Yep. So we've been warned, we guessed, we speculated, we assumed this is going to be one of the greatest catastrophes in American history. This is the ultimate FU to their three-tiered justice system.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop.
Yep. Did they have a parrot?
F you.
Following Biden's decision to pardon his son, Politico reported that the president is considering pardons for those he thinks President Donald Trump may target, including Anthony Fauci, Liz Cheney, and Adam Schiff.
Oh.
Biden told USA Today that he has not made a decision on whether or not he will pardon them in his last 12 days in office, and that it depends on who Trump appoints to his cabinet. Well, a little bit of it depends on who he puts in these positions, he said. In fact, here's how he's... I was very straightforward with Trump when he got elected. I invited him immediately to the White House. I spent 2 hours with him, said Biden. He talked about, he was very complimentary about some of the economic things I had done. He talked about, he thought I was leaving with a good record kind of thing. What?
Yeah.
I tried to make it clear. Good luck.
Yeah.
that there was no need, and it was counterintuitive for his interest to go back and try to settle scores. USA Today Bureau Chief Susan Page asked the president if Trump gave him an answer on what he planned on doing once sworn into office. Biden said he did not give him an answer, and he just basically listened. Page said to Biden, so you haven't decided yet? You're still assessing this issue? Well, no, I have not. For example, I think there are certain people, like if he were to, I don't want to name their names, I'll tell you off the record, redacted, but there are other parties that we're following through on to determine that rectifying some of the correcting powder cocaine difference, things like that. I don't even know what the hell that means. But that's exactly what they wrote here. This is what he said. More traditional kind of pardons, Page followed up. Yeah, Biden responded as he's drooling on himself. So who knows? We knew this was coming. Again, the Hunter thing was to break the ice, get people all riled up, let it get them out of their system.
That was my first show back when we talked about that. I asked, why would he do this now? Why would he take all the attention, you know,
this far away from when he was leaving?
Yeah, and it was just a precursor to all his criminal behavior.
Just break the ice, get it out there, get people used to it, let them get all hot and bothered on it, and then, you know, by the time he drops, you know, the terrorists and Cheney and Fauci and his brother and then himself, ultimately,
I mean,
people will be like, at this point, just get the hell out of here. They won't even, you know, it won't even be that same visceral reaction that they had to Hunter.
I wish we could get a constitutional lawyer on this, asking, is there a way to fight this when Trump gets in, to fight a preemptive pardon? How in God's name can that not be? How could that be?
The pardon power is plenary to the president, and it is broad.
Right, but from what I understand, and I've heard other lawyers talk about this, is it has to be a pardon for something you've actually done. You have to have been convicted of something.
I don't understand.
You can't just like get a blank check and be like, you can commit any crime you want.
It's like
I don't think it works that way.
What was that?
It has to be
movie
for a
with Mel
specific
Gibson?
offense.
You know, I have diplomatic immunity.
Right. Yeah, it was Lethal Weapon 2.
Lethal Weapon 2.
It just got revoked.
Nice. I miss the 80s and 90s action blow 'em up films. Well, the practical effects.
I don't know. Haven't we seen this in history before? Didn't Nixon get a pardon?
I don't think it was ever.
I think Ford
preemptively.
I think Ford did. Didn't Ford do that? I don't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure.
Criminal proceedings had started against Nixon when he was pardoned.
That's right.
He wasn't convicted.
He wasn't a crook.
He was charged.
I'm not a crook.
Yeah, nobody's been charged. Fauci hasn't been charged with anything.
I don't think it matters.
I mean, Watergate is right up there. When you look at what the Bush family had to do with that, I should share that on my page tomorrow. There's so much history around how much between Dulles and the whole neocon class back then, and all the Bush family, all with the Rockefellers. They did everything in their power to railroad the anti-war at the time Nixon.
Yeah,
that's true. Lyndon Johnson came in, kill them all. How much you go write checks to everyone?
Well, one thing we know for sure is we're going to find out the answers to all these questions because we know he's going to do it. So there's no question, at least about that part. We're going to find out whether this can go forward and whether it's challenged in court and whatever happens, because we know he's going to do it. That's not even a question. So, all right, let's do a little sports before we wrap it up. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Slick, what's going on?
All right, BD. Well, some NCAA basketball men's Division I. We had a couple of finals. We have Villanova topping number 9 UConn. A little bit of an upset there. 68-66. Big D. I know that's your UConn Huskies, but they'll be back. It's early yet.
We jinxed them last night. We talked about them. And
exactly.
I said, no, the only 3 games they lost were in Hawaii. Well, guess what?
Guess what? No more. And then we got Alabama. They blew out South Carolina 88-68. That's the final. And Ole Miss over Arkansas 73-66. NHL action. Canucks and Capitals tied at 1:10 to go there in the third. 6 to go in the third. Blackhawks over the Avalanche. That is 3-1. And we have the Panthers and Utah Hockey Club coming up at 10 p.m. And obviously that Flames-Kings game is moved. They do play each other Saturday in Calgary. And then I would assume that postponed game will be sometime later in the season. So due to the wildfires, naturally. Sixers with a big win tonight. 109-103 over the Wizards. The Pacers 129-113 over the Bulls. And Clippers and Nuggets right now now. Nuggets up 55-34. Knicks 112-95 over the Raptors. All over but the crying. 53 seconds to go in the fourth. Looks like another big win for the Knickerbockers. And, well, I got to clarify that Bill Belichick story. I did a little digging, Big D. Reporter downplays bombshell Bill Belichick rumor. Clark Dalton of Yahoo Sports. This is Yardbarker, excuse me. Despite increase from NFL teams, North Carolina Tar Heels head coach Bill Belichick reportedly plans to stay put. On Wednesday, the Athletics' Diana Rossini tweeted that Belichick has no plans to return to the NFL and is recruiting prospects in New Jersey. He was doing that today. So looks like Bill Belichick, Big D, won't be moving to the NFL. And it looks pretty serious. He's going to stick with UNC. And I think you're right.
I mean, anything is obviously possible. Yeah. If the deal was so ridiculous that you couldn't turn it down. But I don't think it would look good for him.
You know, and if it's Brady calling, at the end there was no love lost between those two either. You could see that on the sidelines before Brady left the team too when he went to Tampa. I
don't think that would stop him.
Yeah,
I think if he was ever going to go back to LA, I think he would go back to somebody like that.
Yeah, Vegas. That'd be a nice place.
With Tom there, yeah.
Yep. And that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
How's that not a conflict of interest, though, Brady being a TV announcer, access to behind the scenes and other films? I don't know, man. That seems a little shady to me.
That is, but they allow it.
They allow him to be part owner and announcer?
Yep. Yeah. Because all the back room access.
He just can't cover Raiders games. He can't cover Raiders games.
I know, but if he's going against opponents, if the Raiders were remotely relevant, it could be an issue. You know, I mean, he's going to go back and interview a coach Patrick Mahomes or
I don't like it either. I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
That's a deflating story, Paul. You're right about that.
Yep. All right, don't get all pumped up.
Come on,
Big D.
Slick. How you like that one?
Come down, Big D.
That's stunk.
I'd say you should punt. All right, that's a wrap. It's like a remote shot
again.
The game.
Test. As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks, everybody on the show. Aaron Frank, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night. Kevin Downey Jr. sitting in with the boys tomorrow night and on Friday. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here, live from Studio 6B.